Japanese table manners. What are Itadakimasu and Gochusosama? Now, what do Japanese people say before and after eating? Before the Japanese begin their meals, you'll see them kind of hold their hands together, close their eyes, maybe bow slightly, and say something ending in mas. What are they saying? What does it mean? Before the meal begins, it is customary to be thankful for the food. It's about manners and respect. To show this respect, you'll hear the word itadakimasu. It literally translates into I'll have it, or I'll have this food in some ways. Itadakimasu is how one expresses gratitude for the meal, but it is a deeper meaning than that. It's not solely the food, it's everything it took for the food to be grown, harvested, prepared, everything in between, from where it sits on their plate to where it originated from, and all the work it takes to get there. And while itadakimasu is spoken before the meal, there is another word that comes right after the meal, Gochusosama. In short, Gochusosama means a good meal, a way of expressing that you are done eating and enjoyed the food, thanking again everything it took to create the meal. The full translation of Gochusosama is something like, thank you very much for the delicious meal. And note that you'll also find this word is used before leaving a restaurant after you pay the check. So use them without fear. Don't think about these words as optional. Try to use them, before and after every meal. But don't freak out if you can't pronounce them correctly or you stumble a little bit. The Japanese understand that you're not Japanese and are humble that you even attempted to use the words. Pronouncing itadakimasu and gochusosama. Now, I know if you're listening to this, you've already heard me pronounce it a few times, but I'm going to slow down here because I know what you're probably thinking. These words are impossible to pronounce correctly. Yeah, kind of. If you're just following along in text only, it sure can be. So, itadakimasu, if you slow way down, it's itadakimasu. Don't really have to enunciate the last masu. It doesn't really Itadakimasu. It's kind of itadakimasu. Just kind of hold that S for a second. Itadakimasu. So, Gochusosama, the other word that you use at the end of the meal. Gochisousama is Gochusosama. Gochisousama. Not too bad, really, and especially if you practice a little bit, you'll be just fine. And like I said, even if you mess it up a little bit, the Japanese aren't going to care. Let's answer a couple of questions about also some additional table manner type things. One of the things is, I've heard it's rude to finish your plate in Japan. Is that true? No. Finishing your plate is a sign that you enjoyed the meal. It's not like some other countries where as you finish everything on the plate, more food is brought out to replace the empty plates. In fact, it's really polite for you to really finish every tiny grain of rice that you get with the meal even. Don't leave even one straggler. And that's like the most polite way you can finish a meal in Japan. And so on the flip side, it is a little rude to leave food, but don't worry, it's not taboo. If you're full and you can't eat anymore, then don't. Leaving a little won't offend the restaurant staff. Now, if you're at someone's home, just try your best to finish. In most countries, it's best to eat mom's cooking now, isn't it? Next question, is it rude to use a fork in Japan? Well, obviously chopsticks are the norm for most meals, for many meals, but it's not unheard of for Japanese to use forks and spoons too, so don't worry about it. Just ask. If the shop has a fork available, they'll bring it to you. And even in situations where it might be a bit strange for a Japanese person to use a fork, they again know that you're not Japanese and using a fork likely easier for you. So no, not rude at all. And that's it for this guide. If you're not subscribed to Tokyo Spark, please subscribe, where we deliver interesting things about Tokyo and Japanese culture to help you have a better time while you're here. Until then, I see you in the next issue or the next episode, take care.